What's going on, guys? Murfs YT13 here, and welcome back, I guess. For a lot of you it might be new, but welcome back for the OG fans of Because We Said So. How are you tonight? Well, it's late now.
Yeah, 11 o'clock. We've had a bit of a break and obviously getting busy in life, and but we're back again and going with a bit different of a format this time, and make it a bit easy to listen to.
Well, we're hoping. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but we're changing up the format. It's going to be more wrestling heavy. We used to ramble on a lot about the Premier League and a lot about sort of garbage and dribble, but yeah, we still want to keep sort of the relaxed nature. Like we're not going to go, oh, okay, let's fucking talk about this now, or let's talk about this now. Just going to roll through. We're going to talk today. Well, for example, today we're going to talk about Raw and SmackDown. Of course, we've skipped over like a few weeks because we haven't been online, but yeah, it's been real stale lately, but we'll get into that as well. We've got Hell in a Cell predictions. Do you call it Hell in a Cell or Hell in the Cell?
Hell in the Cell.
Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, in the cell. Yeah.
Because they call it Hell in a Cell. I think it's like an age-old debate, but anyway, it's fucking beside the point.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I know, but it's weird.
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
say hell in the cell. Yeah.
Hell in the Cell. I always say Hell in our Cell, so I don't know. What the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
But the one thing, the format has changed to the show. Yes, I mean technically, we're just going to talk for shorter amount of time. But one thing that hasn't changed is the top 5 is back this week.
Yep.
I don't even know if it's a favourite of anyone else, but that's something we love to do. It's something that you put together. You compiled a list of the top 5, and this week it is Pitch Invaders.
Yeah, one of my favourite things to see on TV is the Pitch Invader. I like when they get away. I must admit. So we'll have that coming up a bit later on.
And we've got your questions and topics. I put out a video. I put out a tweet. It got nothing, which I understand because I put it out at an awkward sort of time. Nobody would see it. I was at work. I was like, okay, we're going to do the podcast tonight, maybe. But then I put out a video, and you guys sent me in some questions. I actually got some emails from the website, which was I didn't expect that, but that was cool. So I got some emails. We've got some questions and topics as from you guys. So we'll answer them later on in the show as well. Plus a new little thing that I came up with this afternoon. We're going to do a little bit of word association right at the end, just to see where each other's minds are at, because we are brothers, we're quite close. So it'll be interesting to see where we've come up with 5 words each for each other, and we're going to do a little bit of word association too. Fucking who knows how that will go. I've got some really sort of abstract names and sort of things that I'm going to throw at you, but we'll get to that right at the death. But kicking off the show today, Raw, this past week. There hasn't been a lot to talk about in professional wrestling lately, and you mentioned to me today via text that you seem to think that the brand is a little bit stale, hence that's why people are sort of beginning to watch Universe Mode a little bit more.
Yeah, it's something that I've thought about for a while now, that maybe that's the outlet that people are looking for because they're hungry for those decent storylines and that they're not getting on the actual product. So it has to be the reason why Universe Mode and these things are really taking off. And basically that has to be the reason.
Was mine, just out of curiosity, was mine the first one you ever saw, or had you seen it before?
No, yours was the first, but since you started doing it, I've started peeling through a few others. And it's just the same. Everyone's hungry for a decent wrestling product, and all you guys that are doing it are delivering it, and I guess that's why they're so popular now.
Well, it is, and it's something that I got into it. You know, I got into YouTube about 2 years ago. It was something that I had never really considered doing myself because I thought, shit, it sounds like a lot of work, and it is. But yeah, I think there's a lot of truth in that now, because you look at Raw, you look at SmackDown, and yeah, it's an entertaining way to sort of pass the time, but you have to be a really avid fan now to actually get right into it. and there's so much. Like, it seems like the product is really not great at the moment, but there's there's more than ever out there at the moment, which seems insane. It's the worst it's ever been, and there's the most it's ever been. So it's crazy to think.
Well, at the moment, like, I'm a sporadic sort of watcher of it, and the only way they can grab my attention is if Goldberg comes back, if you know what I mean. And that strikes my interest, and I'm like, well, I've got to watch that promo and him arriving and all that sort of thing. So but all the other stuff, I have to sort of grind through, and it's not great at the moment. And
just on Goldberg, obviously, he came back last week. That was brilliant, wasn't it, Goldberg?
Well, that's just one of the greats doing his thing, wasn't it? And he's I thought it was great, especially the way they did it. I didn't like the corny clapping as he was walking out and all that.
Oh, I know. But, I said the same thing. I was like, what? That's never fucking happened. Instead of clapping him to the fucking ring, how about they have the security guards next to him and shit, like they used to? That was what I loved.
Yeah.
The needless security guards. But, Kevin Sullivan, for those who don't know who Kevin Sullivan is, Kevin Sullivan was booking WCW at the time, and he said, we thought it was stupid that they had security guards around him, because why would Goldberg ever need security guards? But he said it was all about the aura. It was all about more protecting the fans from him. That's what they were all about.
Yeah.
The security guards were there to protect you from this maniac. And I thought that was just like, this is genius. Where were they? Not clapping him to the ring like he's, like he's Mae Young.
Yeah.
It's fucking Goldberg.
Yeah. I would have liked just the knock on the door.
Yeah. Come out with a bleeding skull after headbutting the locker.
Headbutt the locker and come out. But geez, he looked hot in that jacket, didn't he?
Didn't it? That was one of my thoughts. I was like, fucking hell, how many layers are you wearing, mate? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just get the Harley jacket off, mate. And, you might stop. You might not need a towel anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That could have been very easily avoided. But well, I mean, while we're on Goldberg, his opponent at Survivor Series is going to be Brock Lesnar, and on this week's Monday Night Raw, Lesnar and Heyman, in my opinion, tanked for the very first time I've seen in a very long time. I thought it was awkward as all hell, this, because they were in Brock Lesnar's hometown. They're trying to pass Lesnar off as the heel, but he's in his hometown. They're never going to boo Brock Lesnar here. Plus, he's a straight up and down motherfucker. So everyone loves him. So they went at it from the wrong angle. Like, you saw this. What did you think of this?
Well, I just think whenever you're in your hometown, you've got to be booked as the face, don't you?
Surely.
Like, surely they're not that silly that they would think that he's going to get over as a heel.
I don't think they're silly in the way putting Heyman out there to try and get him over as a heel. I think Heyman can do it, but I thought he was off his game as well.
Yeah, I just think I don't think he was into it because he knew it wasn't going to work. And he, no matter how hard someone works at something, when they know it's not going to work, you're not going to put your whole 110% in, are you?
He did cut a figure of a guy who didn't believe a word that Heyman was saying, didn't he? Like, Lesnar cut a figure of a guy who was like, I didn't agree with this from the start, but I'm here to collect my check and go home, and that's it. And he cut a figure of a guy who doesn't give a fuck, because he doesn't give a fuck. So that's it. That's it.
No.
He doesn't care. So,
yeah.
Are you excited for the match?
I just think
Goldberg Lesnar's going to be a fucking good match, or is it just the hype, or are you excited to see it?
I think the build up. They've built it up like a UFC match, haven't they? Like, they've been on ESPN. It's been built up outside a WWE arena, hasn't it? Like, it's been built up outside. It's got that UFC feel, which they've probably been heading towards with the way that they're broadcasting WWE now. And I guess, look at how good Goldberg's going to be in the ring. I guess we'll see. But it's just great to see. No. But look, he's I guess he's going to be all right. It's going to be a good match. I think
It's all about the
they need
spectacle.
these big matches.
Yeah.
It's like the Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania. Like there was never going to be a 5-star match, was it?
No.
But it's just the aura of the two men in the ring together.
Yeah, it was all about. It's all about getting that image of them facing off in their gear, and then sort of you can heavily script the match to sort of, you can have shenanigans basically. Like you could set Brock Lesnar's opponent for either the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania from the end of this match. Like you could have Lesnar destroy Goldberg after the match, because I don't think Goldberg's winning for what it's worth. But you could have Lesnar destroy Goldberg after the match and then roll, I don't know, I'm going to throw a name out there, Samoa Joe. Let's roll Samoa Joe out there to face off with Brock Lesnar and just make a moment and make a new star. That, I don't know. I think it's going to be a spectacle. It's going to be must watch because it's Brock Lesnar and it's Goldberg. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so you reckon Goldberg goes out on his back?
I think so. I reckon he's old school like that. And, The Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar. If you want to really increase the stock in Brock Lesnar, put him over Goldberg, and then, this all has to be, and we've said this on this podcast before, this all has to be geared towards someone getting over on Lesnar to then build someone for the future. That's got to be where it's going, surely.
Yeah. Surely his match at WrestleMania is the moment where someone hops on the rocket ship.
Yeah. It's got to be. Otherwise, what are you doing? Then all you're doing is just lacing his pockets. That's all you're doing. And you're not getting a return for your money that you're paying him through the arsehole to stand there and bounce. Like, that's all he does.
Yeah.
He stands next to Paul Heyman and he bounces around and he collects full-time pay for, 5 minutes of fucking bouncing on his toes. So, anyway, Goldberg and Lesnar at Survivor Series. It's going to be a spectacle. People are going to tune in.
Yep.
And it's going to be good to see, regardless of how good the match is. Their match at WrestleMania 20 was hot garbage, but the crowd knew they were both leaving. Remember that one with Stone Cold as the special guest referee?
Yeah.
And the crowd in Madison Square Garden just shit on it. So, but I think Austin just stunned them both and they all went home happy, so...
Anyway, which he does.
Yeah, that's the best thing about Steve Austin is he's stunned, and that's all he needs to do. But really not much to talk about from Raw. Jericho outstanding again. He lost the list of Jericho. It was taken by Seth Rollins. The list of Jericho is more over than pretty much anyone on the roster at the moment. I mean, isn't it a testament to Jericho though? Seriously, how good is this guy at the moment?
Look, he's climbing the rankings of the greatest of all time, isn't he? He just keeps reinventing himself and doing it over and over again. He's amazing.
He's one of the only highlights on the show. Him and Kevin Owens, the eventual Owens versus Jericho feud. We saw a little hint of it again with their in-ring promo at the start of Raw. That's going to be phenomenal because the crowd, once Owens started pissing on the list, which is, it's crazy to think that the list could be what actually eventually gets Owens over as the biggest heel in the company, is a fucking list of words. But that's the testament to Jericho again. It's just amazing. Yeah. Owens started pissing on the list of Jericho and saying it's a stupid list, and the crowd went fucking nuts. And it's like, how good is Chris Jericho? Oh my God, unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I think when they're older, I think Kevin Owens will be shouting Chris Jericho a beer, I reckon, after it all.
Yeah, I mean,
he's getting him over.
Eventually, that's going to be... I would actually like to see him hold on to it, keep them friends till the Royal Rumble, and then have Kevin Owens eliminate Chris Jericho from the Royal Rumble. Doesn't have to be right at the end, but Kevin Owens eliminates him from the Royal Rumble, or but if Owens is the champion, anyway, I'm just booking this on the fucking fly. Anyway, something at the Royal Rumble, basically what I'm saying is let's take it to WrestleMania and let's have Kevin Owens and Jericho blow this off at WrestleMania and make a big deal out of it. But pretty much they're the only two highlights I had from Raw. If you've got any more, leave them in the comments below. Let us know. But yeah, Raw, and we'll move on to SmackDown now. Just really, really uneventful in my opinion. But as we spoke about, that's why people are driving towards old Murfs over here. So that's always good for business. But I'm joking, of course. SmackDown, James Ellsworth. You laid your first eyes on him tonight. How was that?
Yeah, well, when you said, check out this bloke, I was like, well, this must be a new star that's getting born, coming out of NXT or something. And goodness gracious me, I was surprised. Like, who in the hell is this peanut wrestling AJ Styles?
He's got more wins over AJ Styles than John Cena.
Yep, he has.
So,
and
that is just insane. What's your hot take on James Ellsworth, though? Like, what was your initial reaction when you laid eyes on his non-existent chin and his bleach blonde hair?
Well, he done his job, I suppose. But I actually, a special mention to Dean Ambrose. I thought he was pretty good in that match too, with the mic work and the way he went around it, and they kept throwing him in and out of the ring and all that sort of thing. It was good.
It was good.
And a special mention to his elbow as well. That just, I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah.
It got split to the cross. So.
It's just he makes me laugh because he should never be there, but I'm so glad that he is. Like, he has no business being in the ring with legitimately the best wrestler on the planet right now. And Ellsworth is mixing it up with AJ Styles, throwing bent leg super kicks. And what do you think of no chin music? It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't mind it. He and he hit it flush too.
Yeah.
He hit it flush.
Yeah, well, and
he got a pop.
And his reaction, and then on Talking Smack when he's he's got something about him that's just so good. That's just excellent. And I just love what he's doing at the moment. And I think this is a really good placeholder feud until Cena gets back. But my biggest quandary is who's next after Ambrose and Cena? Who's the next challenger after that? Like, that's the big thing on SmackDown. Who is it? Yeah, like the winner of Orton
they killed
and Wyatt,
off Ziggler, didn't they?
Yes, he was the man for it. But speaking of those two, Ziggler and Miz have been having probably the best feud. For the last sort of 5 or 6 years. They had the match. Ziggler put his career on the line at No Mercy, and he won the Intercontinental title. But then they bring in the fucking what are they called? The cheerleaders that Dolph Ziggler was a part of. They bring in the fucking Spirit Squad, and you're like, are we doing this? You guys had this going. You were cooking, and then you bring in Mickey and fucking Jimmy or whatever the fuck their name are. And you kill the heat. Like, you just kill it completely. Like, he can't catch a break, Ziggler. He gets on a roll.
Yeah, they don't mind burying Dolph, do they?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like, you think, okay, here's the rocket ship. Here he comes. Nah, we're going to team you up with with Rhino and Slater, and you can take on the Spirit Squad and Miz. Yeah, no worries. We'll see how that goes. Fucking Christ. But anyway, I'm not going to dwell because we all know that I like to rant on things that annoy me. But that is a little bit, it's sticking in me side a little bit. But other than that, we've got Orton and Wyatt on SmackDown. Wyatt's up to his old tricks. You're a big fan of Wyatt, aren't you? Like, you've been a big advocate of his for a while.
Well, I can't believe he's not champion, and he's been over for years. So I think it's time. But it's interesting, like, you hear JR and his podcast and that, they talk about that he's going to be the big face of the company and all this sort of thing. But when?
You've got to
when
give him a chance.
Will they do it?
You've got to give him a chance. He needs to back up his words because he speaks the best words of anyone on the roster. And I'm talking the whole company. But then he never fucking wins. So I reckon this has got the same feel about it. Orton will go over, and you know they're already made man in Randy Orton going over a guy who should be steamrolling guys all the way.
Yep.
And I think it's time to get that title on him and just see what he can do with the belt. Because for the longest time...
Well, he's next. He should be next.
Well, yeah, maybe he's next. Maybe he's the next challenger for AJ Styles. I reckon that'd be an interesting dynamic. But anyway, that's all I can really think of about SmackDown. It was look, as we've said already, it's been pretty ordinary, to be honest, and I really hope it picks up sort of coming in towards Survivor Series. I know this is a placeholder month. We've got Hell in a Cell. We're going to get to the predictions just here in a second. Your thoughts on Hell in a Cell as a pay-per-view? You told me today you're not real happy with it.
No, I just think it's when someone said Hell in a Cell back in the 90s, early 2000s, you were like, holy shit, this is a massive match.
Yep.
This is big time. This means you're going to hell.
Yep.
And now they've got a pay-per-view and they just flood it on you. Like, it just takes away from the intrigue of what built Hell in a Cell in the first place.
Hell in a Cell was designed to blow off the most heated of rivalries. When you can go no further, you have a Hell in a Cell match. That was it. That's like, we need to end this for the company's sake. You two are going to Hell in a Cell, and you're going to figure it out. Now,
and they hated getting told they were going to Hell in a Cell. Because thank
God you've said that, because now it's all about, I'm wrapped to be headlining Hell in a Cell in the cell. No, you shouldn't be.
No.
You should be shitting yourself.
Yeah, because this is the worst match you could possibly get booked in.
Yes.
And it's
just
astonishing.
Insane to me that now we have this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Great. But you've got fucking 3 on the card.
Have one.
You've got 3.
Have one.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
And in my universe mode, as a lot of the listeners will realise, I don't have any gimmick pay-per-views. So if there's going to be a Hell in a Cell match, you know damn well that it's going to be for a reason, because I try to book it the way we watched it as kids and the way we played our own sort of, I guess back in the day, it was a universe mode, wasn't it? We used to do that as kids. We used to...
Yeah.
There was no way you'd get anywhere near a cage or a Hell in a Cell until your rivalry was heated enough to get, to get in there. But Hell in a Cell predictions, we may as well jump into that while we're ragging on the show. But look, there's 3 Hell in a Cell matches. We'll start at the pre-show. Have you seen much of Cedric Alexander, like the Cruiserweight division? Probably.
Watched a few snippets when they first went onto TV, but other than that, no.
So the kickoff match, we're not going to spend any time on it, but Cedric Alexander and Lince Dorado and Sin Cara versus Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and Arya Daivari. Now, Daivari's a name that you'll remember. Daivari was Muhammad Hassan's manager, but this is his little brother, Arya. So he's an awesome wrestler as well. But yeah, they're having a 6-man. Look, I think that we'll see Cedric Alexander and Lince and Sin Cara go over Nese, Gulak, and Daivari in this one. And just as a little disclaimer, not disclaimer, that's not the word. I want to get everyone's predictions for Hell in a Cell in the comments below. And as a little, I can't even think of the word. As a little perk, if you get them all right, next week on the podcast, we'll give you a shout out. If you have a YouTube channel, get in and get your predictions in. I'm just following the lead of Serblay, who's one of my good friends, who's got another YouTube channel. You can go check him out. I'm sure if you subscribe to me, you should be subscribed to him. Serblay does the same thing when he does his predictions. If you get them all right, he'll give you a shout out on his channel. We'll do the same here. So get your predictions in below. I reckon Alexander Dorado, Sin Cara. You probably don't even care, I would assume.
No, no, not really.
So we'll just go with my prediction of Alexander Dorado and Sin Cara. The next match
I'll
will
take
be...
your word for it.
Yeah. The next match you won't care about either because it's women's wrestling, and I know this is going to get a lot of heat because I know a lot of my subscribers love women's wrestling, but you can be the heel here. You're not a very big fan of women's wrestling.
No.
So
anyway,
we've got Bayley versus Dana Brooke. Now, Bayley for me, I think Bayley's a lock to win this for sure. Because Dana Brooke beat her. Dana Brooke is the queen, and Skino will love this if he's listening. Dana Brooke is the queen of botch style. She fucking butchers matches for a living, basically, this chick. So she beat Bayley on Raw, I think it was this week, or it might have been last week. I think it was this week. She was meant to have her feet up on the ropes to cheat to beat Bayley, and didn't get her feet up on the ropes, so she just pinned her clean as a whistle.
Jesus,
and everyone was like, what the fuck's going on here? And Dana Brooke just pinned her clean as a whistle.
You wonder why I don't like it.
Yeah, well,
I know why I don't like it.
Yeah, they don't. Sometimes they don't do themselves any favour, but I think Bayley is a lock to go over Dana Brooke. The next match, Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. This is a tough one. Do you have any prediction either way? Do you think Gallows and Anderson could maybe get one over on the Big Cass and Enzo, or?
Oh, I think Big Cass is on a bit of a roll, isn't he? He's starting to get a bit over, so maybe they'll chuck him a W. So
the way they've booked Carl Anderson lately is a travesty. He lost to Enzo on Raw, so he's a much smaller guy. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Small doesn't matter. As I'm very aware, I'm 5'5", or 5 foot fuck all. But I think Gallows and Anderson are going over Enzo Amore and Big Cass dirty. That's my prediction. But we'll see. The Raw Tag Team Championships are on the line. The New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus. I don't know. Who do you think's going to win that? Cesaro and Sheamus, newly crowned team, like newly made team.
Yeah, I can't see the New Day losing.
Neither.
I think they're too much. They're worth too much to the brand.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't think Hell in a Cell's where they'll do it because they've had the longest reign. I think they're chasing Demolition as like the longest reigning tag team champions ever. So I can't see them losing it until a big moment. So I don't reckon Cesaro and Sheamus will do it yet because I don't think that experiment's worked. But
you going all right there, mate?
No, I'm trying not to. I tell you what, this beer that I'm drinking, I may as well be drinking straight gravy because it is horrendously hoppy. And I'm just trying to choke my way through it here. But anyway, I'm struggling. But I think the New Day over Cesaro and Sheamus for what it's worth, which is fuck all. WWE Cruiserweight Championship. TJ Perkins versus the Brian Kendrick. TJ Perkins, the champion, defending against Brian Kendrick. Kendrick, the fairy tale story, TJ Perkins, the young upstart. I think TJ Perkins gets the win and ends this feud that's been going since he won the Cruiserweight Classic. You agree with that?
Yep, they've built him up as the number one man, haven't they?
Yeah, so he's got to.
They're not going to.
Yeah, he's got to bring legitimately. He's got to bring legitimacy to that title, I reckon, and then Perkins over Kendrick. So then we have the US Championship match, Roman Reigns, and this is the first of 3 Hell in a Cell matches, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking stupid. Anyway, US Champion Roman Reigns, who beat the fuck out of Rusev and then challenged him to a Hell in a Cell match, which makes no sense at all. Roman Reigns is defending his US title against Rusev. Can you see Rusev winning this?
No,
Neither.
I can't.
I'm the same.
Yep.
I'm the same. There's no way Superman Reigns is losing that US title, because they will push him come hell or high water as this fucking world-beating superstar. And I feel sorry for the guy, because I actually really like Roman Reigns, but he is definitely winning this match.
Yep.
After that, now I don't know how this match card's going to go. I have a feeling they're going to put the women on last, which I hope they do, because it's the only match on the card that is worthy of a Hell in a Cell match, because Sasha Banks and Charlotte have had such a blood feud. Like, they fucking hate each other. So we're going to go Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins first. The Universal title. Can Seth Rollins dethrone Chris Jericho's best friend, Kevin Owens?
I don't think he can.
Do you think Jericho will have something to do with it?
He'd have to be involved in some aspect, I would reckon, after the list and all that. But they love Rollins,
They do.
But I don't think. I think that his KO's run's been pretty handy, and they're not gonna take it off him. So,
do you
KO
think
for
we
me.
see Triple H get involved in this and potentially cost Seth Rollins the Universal title again?
I hope not.
Same.
I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I'm the same. I really hope not.
They've got to make Owens strong somewhere along the line.
He's got to beat him.
He's got to beat him clean
and viciously. Not squash, but just be a badass motherfucker and beat him.
Yep.
Otherwise, Owens is just this bloke who can't do anything by himself. Will they do that?
Does Owens take a sick bump?
I hope so. Maybe he could. I think this could be the match. I think of all the three matches, I think this would be the one. I think Owens would be the man to do it. I think Rollins is pretty fearless as well. He'd do anything. So I think that one could be the best of the 3 cell matches. But I think we're unanimously saying Kevin Owens is over in that match. Yeah.
Yep.
The Raw Women's Championship, which I hope goes on last, is Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Flair. The Nature Boys' daughter versus the champion Sasha Banks. This title is flip-flop between the two. They can't stand each other. The build-up's been outstanding. They were standing either side of Mick Foley, who cut a really good promo on Monday Night Raw about the cell, as he usually does, because he fucking pretty much broke his entire body, falling off the fucking top of it to get over.
I watched some of that the other day.
It's stupid,
watched some of the highlights again. It's ridiculous.
It's really stupid.
What he's done in there.
It's really stupid. He's an idiot, but fuck me, did that make him... Like, some of the... like, I think a lot of people can understand. I appreciate, and I know you appreciate, really good commentary. JR in those cell matches, that's it.
They've killed him.
Yeah, but even just saying they've, like, he sort of breaks down the fourth wall, doesn't he, or the third wall, or whatever that fucking saying is.
That was general emotion, wasn't it?
Well, it was
real emotion,
because
emotion.
He just saw this bloke fall fucking 30 feet, almost to his death. So it's like, Jesus Christ, what do you say? But maybe, I'm just thinking, maybe this match, if this goes on last, do one of these girls take a sick bump and really put the women's division on the map? Or do you think the PG WWE are going to really pull back on this because it's 2 women?
Well, this is the first time, isn't it?
The first time ever inside Hell in a Cell for 2 women.
Yep. They might surprise you, but I can't see it happening.
I think the UFC do huge business with their women. If WWE really want to do something progressive, let these 2 women beat the absolute fuck out of each other. Because why not?
Yep.
Just because they're women doesn't mean you're not allowed to get some hard way Brock Lesnar blood. You know, like
stiff elbows.
Yeah.
Why not?
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not advocating like seeing women bleed. This sounds really fucking bad now, doesn't it? I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it.
Let's move on.
I'm not going to touch it. Well, anyway, let's move on. I'm putting Sasha Banks over Charlotte Flair. That's my prediction, just for the record. We're not going to touch it. I'm not going anywhere near it.
With plenty of blood.
With plenty of blood. Well, this is officially broken down now, I think. So, all right. Are you ready to do the top 5 while we're going here? Let's fucking...
Yeah, we may as well. We may as well really destroy the whole podcast now.
Let's really break it down and really turn some people off here now. So, fucking that's so ridiculous.
All right, so we got number 5 here.
Huey's pretty happy with that.
Bit of a celebration. Yeah, just a bit of a point over, and
look at this cunt.
Here he is.
It looks like he's wearing a diaper.
He's pulled out the old plane run, and he's just coaching a few security towards him. Give a bit of a selfie with the goalkeeper there.
How much are these blokes loving it too here? Getting the fives, filling them up.
High-fiving.
Good evasiveness.
Yeah, he's got him. No, he hasn't. The evasiveness. You've got to get a good getaway from the security when you're doing an invasion.
The security could
and
not
a few
catch
more
a
high
fucking
fives.
cold,
And you watch here. He jumps in the wrong area here. He just jumps in.
Ah, shit.
And security's right on him.
And you've got me there, so
not a bad one. Not a bad one. That one. Number 4, we've got this one. He stopped, had a bit of a look, a bit of a commotion, and this
guy's brilliant. He's quick.
This guy could play rugby, I reckon. He can get away from anywhere. Look at this. He's through, he's out, he's gone. So, digging him in, he's giving him a bit of a smile.
Oh, shit.
Bit of a smile, and then he's just slid into the net. And
you don't need
thank
to
you,
grab
Oliver
him.
the Rabbit.
He's done. He's given... He's giving you it.
Nice little slide over the line. Number 3.
Oh, this is classic.
Here we go. AFL, Aussie Rules Football, and we've got a pig on the ground here. Now, there's a ex-AFL footballer called Tony Lockett. His name was Plugger. He had a bit of a gut on him, and here he is, the pig. And this went on for far too long.
Yeah, this was ridiculous.
A pig running around.
Who got him?
And a nice... Yeah, Sydney player there grabbed him. Looked like Mark Bays, that did. But there you have it, a pig on the ground.
Oh, look at this.
Number 2, this guy, Snagger, and he's just copped it from Andrew Simons there in a one-day match here in Australia. Cricket game. Well renowned for their streakers in the cricket, and that is a solid bump from Andrew Simons. Simo is one of our favourites here in Australia. He's an absolute legend.
No sells
and not much to... Not worried about too much there. And number 1,
this is the all-time
Manchester
great,
United. Not too many times you get to score a goal against Manchester United, let alone a volley.
Finish, though.
And they are in raptures. And there's not very often you get to score a goal against Manchester United.
Have a look at the finish here.
Oh, it's sublime. It is sublime.
Look at the form on it. He knees it. And then slocks it away. Absolute beauty. Absolute beauty.
And, yes, the crowd go mental there. So that's the...
and they fucking absolutely despise that, don't they? So,
yes.
Jesus Christ. That's the...
there's the top 5 this evening. You've got to love a good pitch invader.
Yeah, I love it.
And let alone pulling out one of the best volleys you'll ever do in your life in front of millions of people.
But
absolutely
isn't that
fantastic stuff?
That's clutch, that, isn't it? Because you're invading the pitch. You know you got the security bearing down on you.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you get this little bobble up from Foster's feet. And then you knee it to yourself. And you just volley it top bins. So, absolutely perfect.
Very good.
Absolutely
very good.
Perfect. I love it. I love a good pitch invasion. The bloke, I mean, we're not going to dwell on it, but the bloke... who got hip and shouldered by Andrew Simons, had a massive set of balls.
Yes, he did. And if you are going to pitch invade, I reckon you'd need to have the good, a fair bit of tackle on you,
Yeah,
I would reckon.
Make sure you're packing some heat before you run out in front of 30,000 people with your snag out. But I guess that's the lesson you can learn from the podcast today. Maybe just write that in your journal at the end of the day. Murfs, and I guess, what are you? We still haven't figured out a nickname for you, have we?
No.
But
No.
Murfs and Murfs said that you should always have a big cock when you run on the field in front of 30,000 people. Anyway, this is absolutely breaking down here.
Yes.
Let's get to your questions and topics that you guys suggested in the comments. I wasn't surprised that a lot of you guys wanted to hear a lot of wrestling, so we tried to deliver that today. I've got a few. I'm just going to try to breeze through these because we've gone long already. But a lot of questions about Universe Mode, a lot of questions about YouTube and things like that, and then just a few suggestions for maybe some storyline ideas for Universe Mode and all that sort of thing. We had a couple of people ask, it was Funky Chicken and Clark Wayne. They wanted to know what are some storylines that were passed on or didn't work out for Universe Mode. There's a lot. I mean, I go through tons of scenarios sort of every day about what I could potentially do. But one of them was CM Punk returning at SummerSlam, which is the next pay-per-view, which I've since nixed. I'm a little bit off the Punk idea. Like, would you be excited personally to see Punk come back, or are you sort of like, meh?
I think it's lost its heat, I reckon, a little bit. It'd still be massive.
It would. It really would be. It really would be. But I was going to have Punk come back and face off with Austin in the lead up to SummerSlam and make that be a match, because I was originally going to have Sheamus as a singles star and like sort of try and build him up from nothing, which he is at the moment, in my opinion. And so that's why I put in there. That's why you can still hear me choking on that gravy. I was going to put, because Austin had a thing with him at WrestleMania in my highlights package where he stunned Sheamus, and I was going to sort of use that as a launching pad, and then eventually sort of Austin would get involved towards SummerSlam, and then he and Sheamus would have a match, and then Sheamus would end up beating him down as a way to build up Sheamus. You know, he's beaten down the Great Rattlesnake, and then CM Punk would come back, look like he's going to help Austin, and then attack Austin, and then we were going to be off to the races sort of thing. That was one idea that I had, but I sort of went off it because, I don't know, things change, and Sheamus, I put him in the tag team with Baron Corbin, and I think that went all right, and so, yeah, there's been a lot of things, but the way I set my Universe Mode up is I usually set I have the SummerSlam card set for the way I want it to be, and then I'll just work backwards. So then I'll write backwards from there and sort of say, okay, we've got these matches, how do we get there? So that's basically it for that. I mean, that's the major one that I've sort of can remember about storylines that I've passed over or just didn't sort of work out or whatever. Just choking on that fucking grey box. God. That's not a good feeling. Well, I got a really nice email. I'm not going to read it out or anything, but it was from Hydro. He's got a YouTube channel. I'll link it in the description. It was really, really nice. But he had a few questions about my YouTube channel and my Universe Mode in general. He asked, how do you make things unique when Universe Mode has so few creative options? Jason, I don't know if you're very familiar with the game itself. It has a Universe Mode. That's where the whole term comes from. Yeah. I don't ever use it. I don't use Universe Mode ever. So I do everything in Exhibition Mode, and everything is usually scripted 98% done before I even start recording. So I know exactly where I want to go. And then, occasionally if some sort of weird quirk pops up in this random simulated match, then I might go with that as the storyline or whatever. But in terms of making things unique, I I just do what we used to do when we were kids, you know, like when we were kids, we used to book our own storylines and that sort of thing. Like we've just done it since we were kids, haven't we? Like, you know, we came up with our own characters and we came up with all this sort of thing. And I guess I've never grown up in that sense. You've got a couple of kids and sort of do all right. So,
I don't think we ever grow up, mate.
No, I don't think we have. I don't think we ever have. One day, I reckon, if people are interested, we'll talk about some of the created characters that we came up with, because some of them I thought were pretty good, but we'll move it along. So basically, to keep things unique, I basically just book everything the way that I want to see it. That's basically it. Another question was, how do you expose your channel? So how do you get your channel out there? Just reps, just repetition, just bring out stuff all the time, just constantly be there, and be a positive member of the community. I've got a lot of good friends in the community that have awesome channels as well. Like, you know, guys like I mentioned him earlier, Sir Blay, Skino, J-Man, Heel Diggy, obviously guys like Delzinski, who helped me out a lot, putting me as part of his WrestleMania video, Mr. Big Show Off. Like, these kind of guys that have, you know, awesome channels, you don't make friends with them to try and use them for like support or whatever, but you just get to know them because they're like-minded, and just be a positive member of the community, and just be friendly with everyone and ask people advice and things like that. But one thing you do not do is spam other channels with your shit. Don't fucking write in my comments, can you check this out? Or, hey, everybody, check my channel out. That doesn't work, ever. So just fucking don't do that. There's nothing that shits me more, and I actually delete them all whenever they come in. I get tons of them all the time. But yeah, to expose your channel, just look good, sound good. I don't mean physically. Just, you know, make sure your content fucking looks good. Like it's in 1080p or at least 720p, and you've got a reasonably good mic, and it sounds good, looks good, because there's nothing that turns people off quicker than something that looks shithouse and sounds shithouse. They'll just turn off straight away. And if you're talented enough and you have enough commitment and enough passion, people they'll follow. People will come along and they'll listen, or they'll watch, or they'll love whatever you do. So that's my advice on, you know, how to expose it. There's no hard or fast way. There's no way you can post your channel link and 1 million people click on it and you've got 1 million subscribers. It just doesn't work that way. You've just got to be consistent and you've got to put in the work. The other question was, how do you upload other content without getting overwhelmed? Now I don't. I used to get fucking so swamped when I used to do... And we actually spoke about this, didn't we? Like, recently. You actually sort of inspired me to do it, to just focus on wrestling, because it's hard. It's hard to just do... I was doing it... At one stage, I was doing literally like a video a day, and it's ridiculous. You can't sustain that. So
no.
I just think, just do what you have the time to do. And my advice, this is all I'll say about it, is focus on doing one thing really well rather than 10 things okay. Just do one thing really well. I stopped FIFA 17 because I needed more time to make Universe Mode. Plus the new job I'm getting, it's all boring. I'm getting more hours. So so that's how, you know, without getting overwhelmed, just don't do too much. Otherwise you burn yourself out. Isaac Ramy said the Roman Empire, which of course for those of you playing at home is now been fractured because Rikishi managed to pry one of his sons away out of the Roman Empire in my Universe Mode. The Roman Empire needs Umaga. Do you remember Umaga?
Yeah, I do. Is he the one with the tattoo on his face?
Yeah.
Or am I missing it? Yeah.
That was him. He was very, very over at one point. I think he had a great match with John Cena. Just to let you guys know, I won't be using any superstars who have passed away. So, like, I don't want to use Macho Man or that. I want to do something that's more realism-based and realistic and whatever. So, but But I loved Umaga when he was around. He was a fucking absolute machine. Optimus Prime had a suggestion. Why not have WCW or ECW one night show? I'll never rule anything out, but I'm just going to focus on WWE for now. I don't know. WCW stars and ECW stars will probably show up eventually. I don't rule anything out. But yeah, that's it for everyone's questions and suggestions. I really appreciate that. Like, particularly the email that I got from Hydro today was really personal, really just a really nice email. So if you guys have a spare second, go check out his channel. I'll link it in the description. He's actually a really outstanding commentator, and he cites me as sort of like an influence on his and that sort of. It's cool. It's really cool. So go and check him out. Just right at the death here. UFC, a little bit of UFC chat here. GSP is in negotiations with the UFC. How enormous is that?
They've got to do it. Dana's got to get the checkbook out. He's got to do it.
Yeah.
And it will be a huge, huge return. And it's going to happen.
Was he was responding to Bisping on Facebook. Was that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because Bisping wanted him.
Because Bisping... Yeah, he wanted him, and he was saying, "We'll go and sort all your shit out, and we'll get into it."
And we'll dance.
Then JSP's like, "Yeah, well, just let me sort my shit out, and then I'll get in there with you."
Yeah,
sort of thing this morning.
So. I have been in contact with Dana White, and you're like, "Fucking GSP is back, mate. The robot is back."
Yeah.
Do you know though?
Yep.
Big Rig Johnny Hendricks fucked him up and should have beaten him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's the legend of GSP will live on forever. It's imminent, though, isn't it? It's happening, which is exciting.
Oh, it will. Yeah,
it's happening.
It will be. It's just when, more than anything, and how much it's going to cost Dana.
Oh, and that I don't think that's an issue, to be honest. When you sell your company for $4 billion, you must be turning over a bit. We actually had a suggestion in the comments for a little bit of Premier League. Let's just talk a very, very minute about Spurs, which is your team. How are they tracking?
Yep. Unbeaten in the league.
Lazy unbeaten run,
But drawing. So we need to start getting some 3-pointers.
Did you get going rolled reasonably by well. Liverpool, though?
Yeah, recently? In the Cup.
Oh, in the Cup. Okay. Yeah, because I saw on YouTube they had a live stream of it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They're
Sturridge's got a brace, and they're going well. They're going well. When I said in one of the previous casts that we were lucky to get away with a draw against them. They're quick. They're at you. And I think all they need to do is put Sturridge up front, and I think they'll be all right.
Well, weren't they fucking... Who was going on about that? Someone was banging on about that, saying, "Oh, fucking, all you got to do is put him up front and he'll score, and then you go." So that's fucking...
Yeah. He loves scoring against us. He scores all the time.
He loves scoring when he's in his position. So I don't know why they don't play him there. Yes. Aston Villa, for fucking God knows who cares about that. We have the big coin throwing festival coming up this weekend. We've got Birmingham City over at the Scum Palace, and it should be a very, very fucking interesting afternoon of football. They don't play them at night anymore because it gives too many...
Everyone gets so pissed.
Yeah, because it gives people too much time to drink. So I reckon she'll be as early as she can kick off. I reckon if they could kick it off at 8 in the morning, they would. But I don't know whether that'd serve me good either. But
because they'll just keep going from the night before.
So I really don't think you can avoid pissed idiots at a derby.
Did you see the Old Trafford Dunnies on Facebook?
Yeah.
After they just smashed them to smithereens.
But that's what Mourinho will do to you. He'll frustrate you to want to smash shit up. So he's fucking hopeless. Just while we're on it.
Yeah, I think he's struggling. Pogba's struggling. So
if I had to carry 100 million around in my wallet as well, I'd be fucking pretty slow and shit house as well. I'd be...
Yeah, but Mourinho's talking about him playing as a centre back now.
Well,
he's going to make a very good centre back.
Then yeah, he's a fucking idiot. Then he
Well,
doesn't know what he's talking about. It's like who played Daley Blind at centre back? Does he still play at centre back? He's like 5'5". He's like my height.
I don't know. Is he even still there?
I don't
Probably.
know. Anyway, fuck. I don't know. Well, I'm just hoping that we get through this derby alive. I hope everybody who's going to the game is safe and just hopefully they confiscate all their 10p and 50p coins from them before they fucking walk in the door. That'll be an interesting...
Get into it, you bastard.
Yeah, why not?
Get into it.
All right, just to finish off here, word association. We're going to throw 5 words at each other, rapid fire.
Jesus.
This could get interesting, considering I've been drinking gravy for the last hour. But, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? What do you want to do?
I'll go first.
All
right. Vigilante on Sega.
Oh, fucking nightmare. We'll elaborate on that next week.
Yeah. You want me to go again?
Yeah, you go 5 in a row.
Okay. FIFA 16 gameplay.
Fucking nightmare.
WWE 2K17.
Glitched to the fucking eyeballs.
Donald Trump.
Great hair.
And last of all, Roberto Di Matteo.
Sacked. And not unfairly.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Rapid fire. Attitude Era.
Brilliant.
Heath
Teenage
Slater.
years. Grown on me.
Corey Murphy.
A reasonable person.
Steve Blackman.
Kendo stick.
Droz.
Droz.
That's why I left it till last. Darren Drozdoff.
He was all right.
Formerly known as Puke. Do you remember that from Beyond the Mat? He's gonna puke. He's gonna puke. Vince McMahon. He's like, do you need some coffee? And he's like, no, I think I'll be all right. He's like, you want some coffee? He's gonna. And you're like, Jesus Christ, Vince, fucking just take a salt tablet, you can't. Anyway. All right. Well, we said we weren't going to go over half an hour. We've gone about 40 minutes, I think, here. So, no, we're going well over that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I hope you guys have enjoyed this new layout, more wrestling heavy. We'll be back next week, I hope. We'll try and figure it out. Give us...
we'll get into it now.
Yeah, give us your feedback below. Did we ramble on too much? What do you reckon? Just let us know. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed being back. It feels good to be back in the
it was good.
In the hot seat. Let us know if there's any. Let us know your Hell in a Cell predictions. If you get them all right, we'll give you a shout out. Let us know if you've got any suggestions for the top 5. If you've got any more questions and topics and things like that, you can always email me. Just go to murfsyt13.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at murfsyt13. If you've got anything else you want us to talk about, if you want to ask some questions, just let us know. But as always, guys, fucking hell, I'm not ever buying this beer again. I'll give you the hot tip. As always, guys, thank you so much for listening. And I guess we'll catch us on the next one. Mate, and if you can, make sure you give old J Murfs, is it J Murfs BWSS? At J Murfs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think, that's it. Yeah.
At J Murfs BWSS, give him a follow. Why not? Share the love. I don't know.
Ho!
Yeah. Ho! See you later, guys.